Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is KLG News International. I am your host, MM Mwanakijiji. It's another day. We have a tale to tell. This is the tale with a famed British investor. Most of you maybe you've never heard about him, but this is your time. First part is beginning right now. Greetings, my dear friends around the world, or you Tanzanians, ladies and gentlemen. I am your always daring, always on the mark, always on point, MM Mwanakijiji. It is indeed another day. As you all know, we are entering the third week of the political campaign as we march faithfully towards the general elections on October 31st, 2010, the general election that will determine where our nation goes from here. But that's not what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about the case of the famed British investor. It's a tale that needs to be told. It's a case that for most of us, we never took time to understand. We never took time to study it, and even to follow, to make a follow-up of what happened or what is claimed to have happened. And it has passed us by the wayside. But recently, I've come to understand this issue a little bit closely, and I took some time over the weekend to go through some of the documents, to read what has been written about it over the past 6 or so years. And I came to understand a number of things that I need to share with you. As I said, it's a case of the famed British investor, and this I refer to Mr. Stuart Middleton and his wife Sarah, and on the other side of that there is a whole bunch of other people, but fundamentally it's an issue between Mr. Middleton and Mr. Benjamin Mengi, a businessman in Kilimanjaro. He is related to Mr. Reginald Mengi. I will see the name of Reginald Mengi entering into this issue a little bit later, but we need to put it, the whole issue in its proper context. It's an issue, a business. When it started, since 2004 basically, but it started coming into the public sometimes in 2005 or so, 2006. It really got huge in the media. At least some of the media at home, and through the new technology, new media, if you will, it has now become an issue that has involved not just the two individuals, but also other medias, other news outlets all over the world, and even it reached on the floor of the United Kingdom House of Commons, their parliament over there. And in the beginning, I took it. I mean, I've known about this fact since like 2006 when it started. They started complaining about what had transpired or what has happened between Mr. Stuart and Mr. Benjamin. But I took it then as just a simple business dispute, a conflict of sort between two individuals or two companies who had conflicting interests. And we in Tanzania, you know as well, that we have had these issues. These are not unique to Mr. Stuart or Mr. Benjamin Mengi. Most people have had, in their lifetime or in the course of their businesses, have had some disputes, and sometimes get real nasty, and sometimes really get real bad. And in the other cases, it has become even gravely dangerous. Some people have lost their lives. We all know some of the issues. I'll talk in a little bit, just to put this in context, that what I'm talking about, or the issue of this famed British investor, Mr. Stuart, and the Tanzanian businessman, Mr. Benjamin Mengi, is not at all unique. It's not unique, not just in Tanzania. Even in the UK, there are some people who have had, or they still do have, some business disputes. In the United States, it is there. So you have all these mechanisms in place almost everywhere in the world where the governments and societies try to put some mechanisms to resolve some business issues, business conflicts or business misunderstanding, and just try to resolve this issue legally, or if not even legally, through arbitration. So there are processes all over the world, even in Tanzania, where some of these issues could be addressed legally or through arbitration, and so it's not unique. So whatever we are talking about, or whatever has been written so far over the years, even if sometimes using some very strong words, is not unique. It's not unique at all. But to me, unfortunately, some of the issues that have risen through over the that have been brought into the public over the years, and some of the assertions that have been made fundamentally by Mr. Stewart, have caused me to look into it a little bit closely, and being an independent mind, try to be as objective as possible and speak my mind about it, because there are a number of issues that, if one left unchecked, or if one left unresponded, will leave an impression to unsuspecting reader, somebody who doesn't know what is going on in Tanzania will have an impression that something terrible is going on, or it's widespread in Tanzania, and then some sentiments would be passed over to other people, and then you will have this kind of perception that is created. And this what really caused me, because if it was just a matter between Benjamin Mengi and Mr. Stewart Middleton, I would have left it at that level. Unfortunately, Mr. Middleton has raised this issue not just to a level of just individual, just a personal, just a business issue. He has taken this to a level that has become, in fact, in a few years ago, it reached a level of a diplomatic incident, if you will. And now, 2010, over 6 years later, I believe this issue, if will continue to be unchecked or unresolved justly and fairly, I believe it will continue to hurt the image of our country, the image of some individuals, and in fact, if you will, even we Tanzania ourselves will find it somewhat hard to defend our country, telling people that, you know, you can come to Tanzania and invest, while somebody will just go easily and go okay, investing in Tanzania, and then they find this case of Mr. Middleton, then they'll be like, oh, I didn't know this is what is going on in Tanzania. It's terrible. They have land invasion, because Mr. Middleton, as I've said, he has taken this thing to a very different level. In one instance, he has claimed what is going on in Tanzania is almost a Zimbabwean-style land invasion. Most of you know it well, especially the British know this too well. So when you say something like that to unsuspecting British investor who would say, oh, I didn't know something, and they're like, yes, look at the pictures, this is what is happening, it's terrible over there. And there's even one video or a clip that Mr. Middleton has made, which simply and stated very categorically that the Tanzanian government abuses British citizens, and qualified just a simple statement just like that. To me, I find that, as a Tanzanian, I find that offensive, and I needed to address this issue, at least a little bit in its totality, although I know I'll not do it the whole justice, because I didn't have time to go in depth. I've checked some of the documents that Mr. Middleton has. I've read some news articles that have been written about the issue over the years, and I really took time to understand, and then I wanted to make some commentary. Most of you know that I always do my show in Kiswahili, but unfortunately for this one, or fortunately for this one, I decided to do it in English simply because I think there are people who need to understand what has happened here. Not only that, I also need to address Mr. Middleton and his friends or people who have believed in his cause. And I just want to put some things in context, because Mr. Middleton has given just one side of it. He has gone to a great length just to give his side, and he is the good guy. You know, he is the only good guy in the picture. I'll show you in a little bit, because on the other side is on one side is him and his wife, Sarah, and on the other side is the whole nation, the whole government, the whole legal system of Tanzania. It's all wrong, it's all corrupt, and basically there's no hope for that. And when he said things like that, you always wonder, if this is his view, where would he find some kind of resolution?